Welcome back to South Philly Sauce, an Audacy original brought to you by 94 WIP and Jack Daniels. Ashlyn and Al here with you in studio recapping a road trip that went pretty well as the Flyers get ready for a home game on Thursday against the Capitals. And this road trip, it looked a little daunting at first. You had the Avalanche, you had the Preds, you played some really good teams. And the Flyers get out of this road trip 5 out of 6 points. And it's funny, we were talking about this in the postgame show last night. You're happy. You feel good about the 5 out of 6, but it could have been 6 out of 6 because 18 seconds into overtime, the Flyers lose it to the Preds. And that is what is annoying. It's like, but it's not as annoying the day after, I will say.
No.
We did the postgame show about 30 seconds after the game ended, and frustration, annoyance, because it was right there. But a day after, you kind of see the big picture.
Yeah, I think that was the only person that really would be annoyed would be Ersson, the goaltender.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's probably feeling like, I know this is how I would feel. Like they blocked a bazillion shots in front of me, and then in the overtime, I let one leak through.
Right.
But he played well until then, made some big saves. I actually was surprised he got the start. I thought they'd go with Hot to finish the road trip, but he'd been playing so well, and he played well again. But I can see where that would be the one person I would think would be disappointed in the trip because it was his chance here, and they'd come off a couple of wins. But I don't think any negatives came from it in terms of long-term what you thought.
No.
And for the team, that was a huge road trip. That was to come back, to have that third game, to be behind by 2 goals, come back, play block shots, as I mentioned before. It was remarkable to me. And they did this, Ashlyn, with their power play still not clicking,
Gosh.
but a perfect penalty kill.
It is perfect.
So, I mean, I guess it's a glass half full. I mean, it's Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, you're just going to see the microbiology in the glass. You're not going to see the water, but we can look.
What does that even mean?
You'll see the bug in the glass. You're not going to see anything else. But I mean, I think you choose the way I would look at it is you had a heck of a road trip, and you proved to the rest of the league, and more importantly to yourselves that you're going to stick to it. This is for real, for real.
It is for real, and I want to run some sound from Flyers.com last night. John Tortorella, post-game press conference. You just never know what you're going to get. And it seems like, funny enough, after losses, he's happier than wins, which is really confusing, but we're starting to get used to it. But we got awarded the worst question of the year, so let's hear it.
I guess, obviously you wanted a different outcome tonight. You like the way the team played, but where do you feel like you guys are at coming out of this road trip?
Just got 5 out of 6. Feel pretty good. That could be the worst question of the year right there, Charlie.
It wasn't even a bad question.
Well, that was from Charlie O'Connor from Philly.
Yep.
Well, he never asked a bad question.
No.
He asked a lot of questions. I got to say, having done TV, newspaper, this, and you're putting print people in a pretty weird position to ask questions. I think Torts was having a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
I hope he was having a little bit of fun.
I think so too.
But I mean, really, almost any question we ask, you have to ask the obvious question just to get the response, right?
You need the soundbite.
God,
you
I've
need
asked
to write it.
I've asked some of the dumbest questions, and I mean, well, we work with the guy that asked the dumbest question of all time in the history of sports, Michael Barkan. When the Olympics, when the skater slipped and he said, "Was the ice slippery?" Well, Michael, it's ice. I mean, sorry, Mike.
Why you got to bring Michael Barkan into this?
Because it's my favorite story ever. but you're put in that position where you got to ask just to get a response. And sure enough, he got a response, and I think the response was telling. I think he's really happy with his team.
That's
really, really happy
for him
with
to
his
answer
team.
it in that way was we got 5 out of 6 points.
Yeah,
but
it's
why
like
would you ask that?
it's like, but does the certain people don't want you to think that they're dancing on air, right?
Yeah,
that they have this, they have to keep their personality, keep their demands. So quietly, he's probably really thrilled with what's going on.
Yeah, and I think he was trying to get at that, but you're right. You don't want to, because there were things that went wrong.
And the ice was slippery, yeah.
It sure was. It always is. I'm going to learn how to ice skate here soon, thanks to Scott Hartnell, and I am greatly looking forward to it.
Well, you might pick a better mentor.
Well, you have one arm, so you can't teach me, so I'm out of options.
No, actually, the Hartsey down thing. Yeah. But I would really love for him to give you skating lessons just to teach you the Hartnell down.
Please, no, I don't need to learn that.
Do the Superman on the ice. Go from blue line to blue line.
No.
No, we're doing this.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, Al's going to be in attendance. It's going to come up on NBC Sports Philadelphia here very soon. We'll keep you updated on that. But Sam Ersson, I kind of felt like he was going to get a start on this road trip, and I think he's going to get a start on road trips from now on because the Flyers have made an emphasis that he needs to play more. And we're seeing, that he's getting more comfortable. And let's hear more sound from Sam Ersson after the loss where he talked about that goal that went through.
Strong game on the whole, but what happened on that last goal? Just thinking.
Yeah, I was one of those, kind of felt it trickle a little bit, and I didn't know if I had it or if I were to lay back and try to cover it. But obviously, it's one I got to come up with. I think it hurts. We played such a good game, and the way we battled in the third and coming back, guys, I don't know how many block shots we had in the third period. So it hurts that the overtime goal is one I feel like I want to have back.
It felt like from up top in the early part of the game, they were shooting wide intentionally, maybe trying slap passes, stuff like that. Did it seem that way on the ice at all?
I don't know. It's maybe the first goal there was kind of one of those situations, but I think it's partly because we do such a good job of coming up in the shot lane, so they have no choice but to kind of shoot it around us and hope for a bounce or a tip.
We've talked before about how you like to get a lot of shots, and it was only, I think, 20, 21 in this one. Was it hard at times to maybe focus on the game because you weren't facing as many shots?
Yeah, it's like I've said before, I think all goalies kind of think it's a little bit easier when you get to feel the puck more, but I can't complain. I mean, the guys are doing such a good job not allowing pucks to get to the net, so it's definitely a tip of the hat to the guys in front of me.
All right, so that sound is from Flyers.com, and you feel for the guy. He plays so well the entire game. The Preds goaltender wasn't letting anything through. It was just kind of a goaltending match. But I think we're going to see Sam Ersson more, and Carter Hart will get the start probably Thursday. But I think we got to get used to this guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's earned it. You can't have a guy playing that well and bury him.
Right.
It just can't happen. So I think that's in their plans, and that's why I think that was such a big game for him. And that's why I actually felt bad for that goal that kind of leaked through because I thought he played well throughout. But, that's where you could say that was a big, if he manages to win. I was so hoping that actually went to shootout where he's perfect. He's 7 for 7. And I'm thinking, oh, what a story this would be. But instead the thing leaks through. But I don't think that would damage his reliability. I think it's still there.
It was just a weird goal. It wasn't a lack of effort, a lack of talent.
It's a bad goal.
It's just one of those weird, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah,
things.
I mean, there was no coverage in front, but it was 3-on-3. So, I mean, that's difficult anyway. And he actually sort of made the stop. And when you're a goaltender and the puck, you don't know where it is. The danger is if you try to, I got a bad arm, but if you try to reach behind, the risk is you will knock in a puck that's not in.
Yeah.
It's you're in a real, I guess the word's precarious situation where what do? You try to put the glove behind, but he's angled, so we can't do that. And I give the opposing player, Forsberg, credit. He's got his eyes locked on it and sees it right there.
Most players would just give up on the play.
Right, and it's right there, and he sees that it's still moving. And so you get the misfortune. It's a bad goal, but it's not a bad outing.
Yeah, and for them to get a point in that game when they were down 2-0, it was not going to feel like that game was going to go into overtime. So I give them credit that they're even there. And now you look forward to the Flyers coming back home Thursday against the Capitals. And Flyers right now in the Metro Division, they are tied for second place with 33 points. Capitals third place with 31 points. So this is a big game to stay in the thick of things. And I know the Capitals started off rough, getting things right. Power play still sticky. Ovechkin, what the heck is going on with him? So
I don't know.
There's a lot going on with the Capitals right now.
Yeah, but the worry I always have when a guy like Ovechkin has 5 goals, which is if he keeps this pace up, it's going to take 10 years to catch Gretzky, and then Washington being a mess. But I always worry that is this the game that gets him right? We've seen it with Zibanejad in New York was going bad and came into Philly and
the Flyers
went
are always
off.
the get right game.
Right, this is the worry I have. I have. You get your glasses on.
I'm sophisticated today. Yes, very intelligent.
Throwing me off. Yeah, you're asking really good questions.
Thank you. It's the glasses.
So I'm always worried about that guy finds this game to get everything in order, that everything happens. So I don't think this is a case where you can just say, well, we'll shift our focus somewhere else. No, you're not going to shift your focus somewhere else. That power play, though it can be struggling, and they're missing a centerman. You can see how much that matters. So I mean, that you have to be wary of him. It's just I'm almost more worried about him because he hasn't scored.
I agree.
Than I would otherwise.
Because the track record has shown that.
Yeah.
They come into Philadelphia and that's the get right game, and then everyone talks about it, and then it's boo-hoo Flyers. So yeah, you can't have that. But the Flyers, they have winning momentum coming in here where I feel like they're going to stop that, especially with Carter Hart getting back on Thursday.
Yeah, he's been really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, still underrated in my eyes throughout the league. You count on him to make big saves early. He keeps you in games all the time. And the penalty kill, good as it is, your most important penalty killer is your goaltender. And both he and Ersson have been very good in those situations. And so, I mean, I'd look for him. I'm not seeing any dip at all. I mean, occasionally one game you'll go a little bit off, but no, he's been really, really steady to the point where I think Tortorella and the whole is almost like it's a dream. Just all right, it's gonna we're gonna get. It's gonna be fine. No worries.
Yeah.
And when you don't have to worry about a goaltender, it's like
that's a luxury.
It's such a luxury. Yeah. It's such a difference. It makes such an enormous difference whether you're coaching the penalty kill, whatever it is. Not going to help you much on the power play, but with whatever else you're doing, it's like, oh God, we can count on this. It's a +1 in everything.
Yeah, and now we're at the point where, at least for me, every pregame show when I'm writing script, I'm looking at the standings every single show. And
there's a script.
There is. Oh. Sometimes you look at it, sometimes you don't. It really depends on the day, you and Scott. But you look at this Metro Division, and the Islanders are in second place now, tied with the Flyers at 33.
That's a bad thing.
Yeah, the Islanders, they're looking good.
They're playing very well. That's a really good team. Florida's a really good team. The Devils have perked up some.
29 points, near the bottom.
So
but you say near the bottom, and that's a
but yeah. There's no. I mean, it's all the middle. So the Flyers. They don't have like a bank account. There's no savings. It's like you're living paycheck to paycheck.
Literally,
you're living game to game. Yeah. And that's what it's going to be from now right until the end of the season or through March. It'd be nice to be able to build up some sort of margin.
A cushion.
There is none. There's no cushion.
I don't think there's ever going to be a cushion, because even if the Flyers keep up this pace where you win 3, you lose 1, okay, you have a blimp in the road. Every other team is doing that as well. The Hurricanes, the Capitals, the Penguins,
Well, the Penguins are there. That could be a problem up there
if they keep going downhill.
They keep going, but their power play has to get better. But you're right. There's like, where are you going to pick it up? Like, is the Bruins? Everybody thought coming in the Bruins were going to drop. Well, God, they just keep going. The Rangers, who got blown out by Toronto, but they're a really good side. I don't think they're going to drop very much. And Carolina. God, what a mess they were, to the point where Rod Brindamore said he thought they'd give up 50 in that one game. They come back and win. So, I mean, they kind of like they've hit, you think maybe that's the rock bottom for those teams. So the Flyers' task is to
you got to stay with them.
Really, it's just you have to keep doing it. You for all the good that you've done, all you've done is you're treading water, and it's a real deep pool.
Yeah, and that's why when people ask, like, are they going to make the playoffs? Oh my gosh, like, let's start paying attention. You can't even possibly predict that right now.
No, you can't. I mean, you're going to go deep into a season. That's why all this talk with the trades, I don't know. I mean, trade deadline, you don't know what the team's going to look like coming in, what chance you're going to have. When you've got that goaltending, you've got a real chance. And the excitement level, what I want to see, Ashlyn, is I want to see the excitement level driven up at home.
And it has been way better.
I mean, they're a really good road team. Yeah. But they've had some losses at home in games where they didn't score much.
And games that have mattered too. The Black Friday game, the marquee games.
That's what I want to see. I want to see them come in here and really get that place rocking. Yeah. Like it has in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're well on their way. I mean, I've noticed just being here now a year, I've noticed such a big difference from last year to this year, and just the home crowd. And I was even impressed last year coming in. Maybe this is coming from Jacksonville, but I couldn't believe the home crowd and how many people showed up and how into it they were with a losing record. So now when you look at the home crowd this year, it's popping. It's packed.
Yeah, it's
right
packed.
Now.
They're coming in. They've got some characters to to kind of attach to. We're just learning about these guys. But Hart's been here. He's like a veteran now.
Yeah.
But they've got, like, Forster looks like he's going to be a real popular player. Brink has got some personality to him coming in. So they've got some of that going on. Then they've got some physicality. I mean, you never know with that fourth line when
You
they're
pay for the fights. That's what you come for.
My God, they
get what they pay for.
When they can throw hands, but half the way every night has an issue with something.
He really does. He's an emotional man,
and it's great. And it's great to watch. It
is great. And now, I guess I want to say it's shocking, but I'm curious your thoughts about Craig Berube, fired in St. Louis and won the Stanley Cup with them in 2018, 2019, was let go last night and 1 point out of the last wild card spot in the Western Conference. It's not like they're out, and they fire their coach who was with the Flyers 2013 to 2015. And from everything you're hearing, it's like no one was really expecting this.
No, but in hockey, it's like, unfortunately, coaching changes tend to, unfortunately or unfortunately, they tend to work at least short term, which is why late in the season a guy gets fired. I don't know what the Blues were expecting with their roster. I really don't know what they thought Berube could squeeze out of this. I think maybe they thought they'd be a more physical team, but they're not structured that way.
Right.
So I mean, I was worried for Chief coming in to the season. I just thought it's been a while, and the hockey teams just change coaches.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how quick it'll be that if the Flyers ever have 3 games in a row lost, that it doesn't start. They want Berube back here. Yeah. I think Ottawa will be wise to hire him right away. I don't think I think he's got a contract runs through another year, so he can come back to Bucks County and hang out for a year. Maybe join us on this join us on TV or something for a little bit. But no, I mean, I don't even know how upset he would be. It seemed like some of that mojo was gone from that Blues team, but I mean, he'll forever be. He'll forever be the star there for bringing that franchise, that Stanley Cup, and being in last place basically this time of the year and bringing the team back. And he's a real popular guy. He's a really, really good coach. But in hockey, unless you're a very, very rare guy, in 3 years to 4 years, that's about a lifetime.
Yeah. And it's just confusing because when you look at who they have these big time contracts right now. And when you look at their contracts, it's saying win right now because this is going to get up sometime soon. Yeah. And Kevin Hayes is there. And it just doesn't make sense why it wasn't working out.
No, it was a weird trying to do two things at once, like the Flyers, but not committed really to the rebuild thing. And, the guys you brought on, Hayes, we saw it happen here.
Didn't work.
And it's not working there either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe they have to get a better mix of people, but I think that they're just due for a makeover.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're getting started on that. And that is South Philly Sauce, an Audacy original, brought to you by 94 WIP and Jack Daniels. The Flyers have 2 home games to wrap up this week. We'll be back early next week to talk about them. Thanks for listening.